Over the past year, I've spoken in this committee many times about the environmental injustices taking place in my district, at the Oasis Mobile Home Park and other areas in some of our underserved communities. And I'll continue to advocate for them until I know my constituents can safely turn on their faucets without being exposed to toxins. Since August 2019, Oasis Mobile Park has been under an EPA emergency order under Section 1431 of the Safe Drinking Water Act due to arsenic contamination 9 times the legal limit. In the weeks following the revelation that they were drinking arsenic-laden water, the residents of Oasis faced a nightmare scenario due to predatory park ownership who, one, failed to quickly provide replacement drinking water, two, then put residents restrictions on who could access that water, then raised rent by over 30%, and then threatened evictions. And while the EPA Region 9 staff have been diligent and attentive to this situation, it was during this crisis that we saw the limits of EPA's enforcement abilities. The Safe Drinking Water Act threatens fines of $15,000 per day for violations of an emergency order, but the process takes time and it's cumbersome. When residents require replacement drinking water now, they can't wait weeks or longer for a legal process to play out in the courts. So, Dr. McLean, under Section 1431, what are EPA's current enforcement abilities if a water system owner or operator fails to provide replacement drinking water pursuant to an EPA order?
Thank you for that question. We work closely with our partners in our Office of Enforcement and Compliance, as well as in the regional offices, as in Region 9 in this case. And we do see that we have a number of tools available to us in the statute, and we work hard to implement the statute as it is written. And I think that the thing that we are very appreciative of your attention to this issue, and these folks had contaminated water, and we want to make sure that we address that.
So how long does that process take? You say you have different tools. There's been no true enforcement, no fines, and it's almost 2 years that they're struggling with this. For how long does that process take from initial reports of non-compliance and violations to the day a fine is levied?
Well, I can't speak directly for the enforcement program because it's outside of my office. I'd be happy to take that question back and talk to my colleagues.
Thank you. So my bill, the Emergency OASIS Act, would give EPA the authority to step in and provide drinking water in cases where an owner of a system fails to do so within a week of an order going into effect. EPA would then recoup the cost of the water plus a penalty from the system owner, who would be prohibited from passing those costs on to the residents. Dr. McLean, under the provision that I just described, would residents who are not provided alternative drinking water by a system owner likely get access to safe drinking water faster than under the current process?
Thank you for the question. I'm not prepared to talk at that level of detail on the provisions. And
well, I think if an owner doesn't provide water for 14 days and the EPA is able to provide water in 7 days, then I think the math just speaks for itself. I think they would be able to get water faster if they were able to get it sooner by the EPA. And then also the second piece of the Emergency OASIS Act focuses on making sure the entire drinking water system is safe before it is put back into service. At the Oasis Mobile Home Park, the initial EPA emergency order was focused on the well filtration system, yet it took a community group, an outside group, to test the distribution system, where they found that arsenic remained in the water pipes as well, despite the EPA order saying it was okay to drink that water. Section 1431 of the Safe Drinking Water Act gives the EPA broad authority to implement remedies to fix an unsafe system. Dr. McLean, a situation like Oasis or other places where the contamination point is a well, does EPA have the ability to ensure that a contaminant hasn't built up in the distribution system?
Thank you for the question, and I'd be happy to talk to my colleagues who are implementing the enforcement provisions of our statute. we do have many tools available to us.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to working with you, the EPA, your colleagues, and the enforcement tools, and those that know how to clear a system from contaminants, because this is a problem identified in my district that is systemic, and could be eliminated with this provision in my bill. So I appreciate it, and I yield back my time.